everybody, my name is Oles Deyneka and welcome to my first Handpan tutorial. I'm no expert in this field whatsoever, but I would still like to share something I know, and maybe it will be valuable to somebody, maybe not. That's up to you to decide. And today I'd like to talk about ways to add variety to your handpan music, both in the same composition to make it sound more diverse and not very repetitive, and also how to make different compositions sound different from each other. I think there are three important points to consider here. The first one is to know your scale very well. I thought I knew my scale very well while I didn't, and I still feel like I have to learn my scale. And I will be talking about the integral scale as an example because it's the most common. And what do I mean when I say you need to know your scale? You need to learn all of the possible chord progressions you can do. So you can use them in your improvisations and in your compositions both. And you also, this way, can leave out notes and use your scales within your scales. So, for example, the integral scale, if you leave out the third note of the scale, if you leave this dramatic note out and use this scale, it sounds more kind of like the Celtic minor scale, similar. And you can use that to improvise and make compositions, for example. Just came up with that right now. And if you leave out the fourth note, for example, so if you leave this one out, you can play the integral scale as the mystic scale, which is the same without the fourth note. Or you could leave out the first note and play it like it was a major scale. For example, this composition of mine right here was composed on integral, but it sounds like a major scale. And there are probably more ways you could mix things up, but these are just examples. So this is very important. Always explore your scale more. Even when you feel like you've combined everything possible, there are always some nuances still to explore. And that's what I'm finding out all the time. Second important point is knowing structure. What do I mean? To make a composition within itself less repetitive, you need to use structure, like the basic structure of composition. So an intro, verse, a chorus, a climax, and an outro, for example. And the idea here is to start simple and to build up to the climax where it gets more interesting. Well, if you start with everything you got right away, it gets boring very fast. So for example, let's try an intro. This is just the way I play. It's not general theory. I don't have any education in theory, in musical theory. It's just things that I learned by myself and that I use, that I'm sharing with you. And when I play a verse, I usually use more of the low notes and less of the high notes. So for example, when I play the chorus, I usually start the melody on the first hit. Well, in the verse, I usually play the first hit on the ding. Not always, but it's a general tip you can often use. In the chorus, I will still hit the first note on the ding, but I will also play the melody on the first hit. This way it adds this feeling that the melody starts right now. Then usually comes the solo climax part, where you play the verse again, and then you use more high notes and make it more intense and play loudest and maybe with a certain rhythm, different rhythm. Let's try. This was a climax and an outro, I think. In the outro, I usually play something either more calm or something with a different rhythm. Whatever fits. The outro is, I think, a part of the composition which can be quite free. It can be very calm, like the intro. Or it can be a kind of resolution with a specific rhythm, like. Last, third point, which is linked to the second point, is using a lot dynamics and rhythm. So if your scale is limited and you cannot make huge variations in melody. You should focus on doing more variations in dynamics and rhythmics. If we talk about the same composition, it's not using rhythm in the, or not using the tuck, for example, in the intro, and starting to use the tuck in the verse and chorus, or using the tuck in the outro only, also can be an idea. It's up to you, get creative. Well, when I talk about different compositions, you can play a fast rhythm, a slow rhythm, triplets, 4/4. And I will get into detail into this in another video maybe. I will play a composition, or actually an improvisation, by using the tips I just talked about. And I will write in the video which part I'm at each point. So let's start. I hope this video had any value for you, and if it did, please consider subscribing and telling me in the comments below what you think. Also ask me any questions, details, whatever you want. I know I still have much to improve, and I will do my best, but I would like to still start this tutorials thing somehow, even if it's not perfect, far from perfect. So I wish you good luck on your path with the handpan, and have a great day and all the best.